whenever and wherever here is for you today. I'm glad you found this practice for when you're winding down and getting ready for bed. Maybe after a long day, maybe after a short but really stressful day. Either way, I got you with a little sleeping time yoga from my first Friday night special back in December 2020. There is a playlist that accompanies this practice, and I'll put information in the description. In the meantime, decide where you want to practice. You could practice on your yoga mat with your props, or you could practice in bed. And then decide where you want to start. You could start lying down flat on your back. You could do legs up the wall, or if you want to release your low back and hips, you could do legs in a chair. Another option is to start seated in the middle of your mat, or, like me, in the middle of your bed. Either way, let's get started. Take a moment to decide which playlist, maybe you can look at the description very quickly. If you're using a playlist, decide which track on the playlist you want to use. And then, once you have done that, then go ahead and start your track. So decide where you want to begin. If you use the YouTube playlist and you went with the very first track, it may be quieter. You might have to raise your volume up louder than you normally do. And so once you're in your position, take a moment to get comfortable. Close your eyes if that's comfortable for you. And then let's set a group intention. May all of us together be protected. May all of us together be nourished. May we work together with great energy. May our study together be brilliant and effective. May we not hate or dispute with one another. May there be peace within us, peace all around us, peace to and from everything and everyone we encounter. Take a deep breath in through your nose. Deep open mouth sigh. Deep breath in through your nose. Deep sigh out. Take the deepest breath you've taken all day. Open your mouth and sigh it out. And then as you inhale through your nose and exhale through your nose, feel how your breathing makes more space around you. Those are the words of Raina Maria Rilke, who was born today in 1875. They're from Sonnets to Orpheus, section 2, and then verse 29. I love Rilke's poems. I love the letters to a young poet. They're like these stories. They combine all of my favorite things about bedtime stories. There's a little rhyming. There's a little advice. There's a advice to turn inward. You think about, even as children, we had these rituals, we had these traditions, we had these habits associated with going to bed and then going to sleep. And sometimes they involved prayers. And more often than not, they involve stories. Someone to tuck us in and read us a story is perhaps one of the best things about childhood. And then we grow up, and that becomes one of those quote unquote childish things. And yet, there's a reason why those rituals, those traditions, those habits from childhood were part of our childhood. It's important, those things that we say and do before going to sleep. And so today we're just going to go a little deeper into those things. Tonight's sequence includes some things that I do every night, although sometimes I fall asleep before I finish.
And then there's some other elements that I just do when I feel like I need to do them. When I feel like that's what I need to relax, release, and rest. Because that's what we want to do just before we go to sleep. We want to do the thing that allows us to relax, release, and rest. Breathe deeply in, breathe deeply out. And let our conscious, our subconscious, and our unconscious mind come together on that dream plane. We start to answer questions and solve problems. We let go of what we no longer need and acknowledge the direction in which we want to go. As we move through tonight's practice, I'll offer prenatal variations. And remember, you can always take a moment, take a break. Even if you fall asleep, you're still going to hear me. In fact, maybe just now you remind yourself that you want to pay attention to the words, even if you fall asleep. Those of you that are lying down, next time you exhale, bend your knees if they're not already bent. Prenatal option is to roll to the left. Everyone else, you can roll to the right. Just take a moment to be here. Take a moment to breathe here. If you started in a seated position, bend your knees up into your chest. You can move them around a little bit and then change the position in which you're sitting. Those of you that were lying down, go ahead and sit up, come into a comfortable seated position. If you have some compression in your low back and hips, you want to put something under your hips, a pillow or a block or even a book. You can bring your hands to heart center or one hand to your heart, one hand to your belly. Close your eyes if that's comfortable for you. And then bring your awareness to your goal, your desire, your reason for being on the mat tonight. Just like setting that intention before you go to sleep. You plant that seed, then you're going to nourish it in the evening and harvest in the morning. And then bring your awareness to someone other than yourself. Someone you'd like to energetically support as we move through this practice. Maybe it's someone who has a hard time going to sleep or hard time staying asleep. Maybe it's someone who troubles your sleep. But either way, even if you bring your awareness to someone you've never met, someone you will never meet, take a moment to offer your efforts as a loving and compassionate dedication, that they may find rest during these troubling times, these challenging times. Let's unify the breath. Exhale all your air out. Take the deepest breath you've taken all day. Open your mouth and sigh it out or yawn it out. And then breathe in through your nose and exhale through your nose. Just let the breath naturally flow in and naturally ebb out. As you inhale, blink your eyes open. As you exhale, relax your arms down, adjust your legs so you're in a bound angle pose, or it's butterfly in yin yoga. So feet together like a prayer, knees open up like the pages of a book. If you're sitting in a chair, you can still bring the soles of your feet towards each other, let your knees splay out to the side as much as is comfortable. For an evening practice, I'd recommend taking your heels away from your body. So the focus is going to be more on the back side and more on releasing your back. Everyone sit up nice and tall. And as you exhale, let your body fold forward. Maybe put a blanket or a pillow between your chest and your legs. If you're on the mat, you want to use a block under each arm. You could do that, but just take a deep breath in. And as you exhale, let your body relax. Release, rest, and breathe. You may notice, depending on which musical track you selected, if you selected a track, that the music kind of undulates. So it becomes a musical meditation. And you may find yourself at times breathing with the music. I mentioned Rilke's Letters to a Young Poet. That's how a lot of modern readers know his work or know of him. These were letters addressed to a 19-year-old officer cadet named Franz Xavier Kappus. But Kappus wrote Rilke because he admired his poetry and also thought, here was a man like I want to be, who writes poetry. And so he wrote to him for advice. And the first letter that Rilke wrote back was dated February 17th, 1903. And in it, Rilke wrote, "You ask whether your verses are any good. You ask me. You have asked others before this. You send them to magazines, you compare them with other poems, and you're upset when certain editors reject your work. Now, since you have said you want my advice, I beg you to stop doing that. You are looking outside, and that is what you should most avoid right now. No one can advise or help you, no one. There is only one thing you should do. Go into yourself. Find out the reason that commands you to write. See whether it has spread its roots into the very depths of your heart. Confess to yourself whether you would have to die if you were forbidden to write. This most of all, ask yourself in the most silent hour of your night, must I write? Dig into yourself for a deep answer. And if this answer rings out in assent, if you meet this solemn question with a strong, simple, I must, then build your life in accordance with this necessity, your whole life, even into its humblest and most indifferent hour, must become a sign and witness to this impulse. Then come close to nature. Then, as if no one had ever tried before, try to say what you see and feel and love and lose. As you inhale, lift your body up. Take your time. You can sigh here. You can groan a little or giggle a little if you're already starting to feel some things loosening up. You can move around a little bit. And then either make your way into child's pose, balasana, with a cushion or a pillow under your chest or under your belly or under both. Or if you prefer, you could take a cross-legged position here, just a seated cross-legged. Just cross your ankles or put right ankle on top of the left thigh with the left leg stretched out. That would be an option. The thing about having a little support under your heart or under your belly is that it encourages not only the outside of your body, but also the inside of your body to relax, to release, to rest, and breathe. Child's pose with a little cushion, or even lying down flat, as long as you're not pregnant, lying down flat with a little cushion under your chest or under your belly, are great poses to go into a great pose to go into if you're dealing with a lot of strong emotion. And so if you took that cross-legged position, go ahead and just fold here and breathe here. Feel the muscle in the skin melting away from the bones here. Again, notice how your breathing makes more space around you. If you took the cross-legged version here, go ahead and change the cross of your legs and fold again. And breathe again. One of the reasons that I started last month with pranayama, with the awareness of breath, the extension of breath, was so that this week, this month, you could start to notice how your pranayama practice helps you to go to sleep. How very deliberately, very intentionally, very mindfully harnessing your breath can help you relax, release, rest. As mindfully and gently as possible, start to lower down to your back. And if you need to stretch out your legs before you get there, do that. If you're pregnant and you're not comfortable on your back, you could stack up some props so that your head is up higher than your heart up higher than baby and belly. And everyone, once you're on your back, bring the soles of your feet together like a prayer, knees open up like the pages of a book, into that supine bound angle pose or a sleeping butterfly. Just make sure your knees are comfortable. If you need to, put something under each thigh. Just take a moment to breathe here. Notice your breath here. Filling up as you inhale, emptying out as you exhale. And for this part of the practice, if you wanted to do a little ujjayi pranayama, breath of victory, feel free to bring a slight constriction to the back of your throat as you inhale through your nose and maintaining that constriction as you exhale through your nose. Remember, if you're seated, just lean back a little bit. And then everyone, bring your palms together, rub your palms together, create a little heat, a little energy, a little awareness. And then use one hand to rub the fingers in the hand, the opposite fingers and hand. Just a little massage. Start to break up a little tension in the hands, can help break up the tension through the arms, the shoulders, the neck, and therefore the rest of the body. And in fact, take the hand that's doing the massaging and start to move it up, squeezing up the forearm, rubbing around the elbow, and then into the upper arm and the shoulder. And then come back down, pull out through the fingers. And then hold that arm up in the air, the one that you were massaging, and take the opposite hand and brush from your wrist down to the armpit on the front of the arm. So the flat part of the elbow, 3 times, and then turn the arm around and brush up from the shoulder to the fingers through the back of the arm 3 times. And then shake out both hands. Rub the palms together. And then start massaging the opposite hand and fingers. In the same way as you did before, kind of squeeze up the arm from the forearm, rub the elbow a little bit, go into the upper arm and the shoulder a little bit, and then squeeze back into the wrist, towards the wrist, pulling out through the hand, the fingers. And now hold up that second arm that you're massaging, and you're going to go from the wrist on the flat part of the arm, the inside of the arm, brush to the shoulder, from the wrist to the shoulder 3 times. And then rotate the arm, and from the shoulder, brush up towards the fingers on the pointy part of the elbow side 3 times. And then shake out the hands. And then just very gently, very lightly, take your hands just about at your top of your ribs and brush down your belly, down the front of your hips. Just 3 to 5 times, just gently, lightly brushing down. And then bring your hands right at the top of your hips and just rub in circles. You can even take those circles to the outside of your hips and then back to the inside of the hips. And then rub around your belly just a little bit. Focus on rubbing up the right side across and then down to the left side in a circle. Clockwise if your heart is noon. And then let your arms relax down, either by your sides or resting on your thighs. You could have one hand on your heart, one hand on your belly, or both hands at your heart. And just take a moment to be here. Take a moment to breathe here. Start to feel the exhales drawing you down towards the center of the earth. So you feel your body just sinking down a little more into itself, a little bit more into your foundation every time you exhale. If you're pregnant, you could just bend your right knee here, bring your right foot up against your left inner thigh, stretch your left leg out. Everyone else, you're going to roll over to your belly and come into the sleeping pose. So if you're not pregnant, you roll to your belly, bend your right knee towards your armpit so that your right hip, knee, and ankle are at 90 degrees with the right toes pointed slightly away from the body. Check to make sure the ankle is underneath the knee, not under the hip. You can use your arms as a pillow or actually put a pillow under your head and gaze to the right. Let's take a moment to be here. Take a moment to breathe here. And take a moment to notice your breath here. So this is the part of the practice where we very deliberately, very intentionally, very mindfully do a little tossing and turning. Stay here, or to get a little extra release through your neck and shoulders, turn your head to the left. And then if you're pregnant, you might need on this side or the other side, you might find that it's helpful to put a pillow underneath your side. Everyone else, you can just roll over to your right side, roll over to your left side. And then once you roll over to your left side, either bending your left elbow to hold your head up, the hand hold your head up, or stretching the arm out and letting your head rest on your left arm. Either way, coming into couch pose, you're going to bend your right knee into your chest. Either take peace fingers to the big toe or hold on to the ankle, the arch, or the shin, or use a strap. And inhale, stretch your right leg straight up in the air. This can be a lazy couch pose because you could actually stack up pillows behind you so you don't have to worry about falling over or don't have to worry about engaging your core. Or you could just engage your core enough to protect your back. And then exhale, release. Roll to your belly, or if you're pregnant, you're rolling back onto your back. And that prenatal variation, this time the left knee is going to be bent, right leg is going to be straight. Everyone else is the same thing on the other side. Your left knee bends to 90 degrees, right leg stretches out, and you gaze to the left, but you're on your belly. So going back to that sleeping pose on the other side. So let your hips come down, relax, release, rest, and breathe. And if you're lying on your belly in that sleeping pose, you can keep your head to the left or take a moment to turn your head to the right. And still using the exhale as an opportunity to let something go. And then remember, if you're pregnant, you might want to put something on the right side of your body, on the right side body, just a little extra support for baby and belly. Everyone else, you can just stretch out your right arm, roll over to the right, hugging the left knee in, grab a hold of what's available or use a strap to bridge the gap. And then inhale, lift that lift that left leg straight up in the air. Just take a moment to be here. Take a moment to breathe here. Either fully engaging your core so the hips are stacked, or engaging the core just enough to protect your back here, or stacking up pillows behind you so you don't have to worry about any of that. And then next time you exhale, release and roll over to your back, coming back into that sleeping butterfly or that supine bound angle pose, feet together like a prayer, knees open up like the pages of a book. If you're pregnant, again, you always have the option to have that incline. If you're seated, just lean back a little bit, but make sure that you're not leaning back so much that you're straining your low back or belly. And here, bring awareness to your breath. Notice how long it takes you to inhale and how long it takes you to exhale. You can count from 1 as you inhale. And just to start off, also count from 1 as you exhale to see how long each part of the breath is taking you. And consider making the exhale just a little bit longer than the inhale. So I mentioned on the blog that this is a sequence you could also do in the morning, but there's certain things you would change a little bit. In this part, perhaps you would make the inhale a little bit longer than the exhale, or make the inhale and the exhale the same length and duration. Either way, next time you inhale, bring your knees together. And as you exhale, roll your body over to the left, keeping your feet in the same position as if they were flat on the floor, but then just tip the knees over to the left, curl your body up on the left. This is a prenatal approved pose, so you could stay here. Those of you that need a little extra support for your hips, you could put a pillow between your thighs. And either stay here, especially if you're pregnant, or as you inhale, stretch your right arm up. And as you exhale, stretch your right arm back over to the right for a little twist. Gazes up or to the right. Just let that right arm come down to the ground. Just take a moment to be here. Take a moment to breathe here. And then everyone inhale back to center. As you exhale, roll over to the right side. Just curl up there for a moment. If you're not pregnant, go ahead and stretch the left arm up as you inhale, and then as you exhale, reach it back to the floor on your left side. If you are pregnant, you could come back to center here, and then keeping your upper body at center, stretch your arms out, and then drop the legs over to the left with the feet on the floor. And then come back to center and drop over to the right. And then everyone come back to center. And again, feet start flat on the floor, so there's going to be room for baby and belly. And as you exhale, everyone roll back over to the right again. So back to the right. And then once you're on the right side, again, you might need a little cushion under your thighs. This time, do a little cat-cow curled up on your right side. And you might find that rather than arching your back as you inhale and then flexing through the spine as you exhale. You try lengthening through the backside as you inhale. So it actually feels more like cat on the inhale and more like cow on the exhale. But you want to get a lot of space in your sacrum, a lot of space in your low back. You want to breathe into that space. And once again, notice how breathing makes more space around you and in you. And find a little length and then pause here. If you're pregnant, you might go back onto your back, but everyone else, stay on your right side. When I do this part of the practice in the evening for myself, I have certain prayers and certain mantras and certain chants that I say at different times. And so for you on this side, I'm going to share a Rilke poem called To Say Before Going to Sleep. I would like to sing someone to sleep, have someone to sit by and be with. I would like to cradle you and softly sing, be your companion while you sleep or wake. I would like to be the only person in the house who knew the night outside was cold. I would like to listen to you and outside to the world and to the woods. The clocks are striking, calling to each other, and one can see right to the edge of time. Outside the house, a strange man is afoot, and a strange dog barks, wakened from his sleep. Beyond that, there is silence. My eyes rest upon your face wide open, and they hold you gently, letting you go when something in the dark begins to move. As you inhale, come back to center. This time, as you exhale, roll over to your left and do that cat-cow curled up on your left. Again, creating the space and the length as you inhale. And then flexing just a little bit as you exhale. And usually this side is a little bit longer than the first side. And so if you were just doing this purely by counting the breaths, you might do 8 breaths on the first side, on the right side, and then 16 breaths on this side. But here I'm going to share with you Sonnets to Orpheus 229. Quiet friend who has come so far, feel how your breathing makes more space around you. Let this darkness be a bell tower and you the bell. As you ring, what batters you becomes your strength. Move back and forth into the change. What is it like, such intensity of pain? If the drink is bitter, turn yourself to wine. In this uncontainable night, be the mystery at the crossroads of your senses, the meaning discovered there. And if the world has ceased to hear you, say to the silent earth, I flow. To the rushing waters, speak, I am. And now either roll over to your back, or if you prefer, curl up on your left side. Stay curled up on your left side or roll to your back. And if you roll to your back, Start off in that supine bound angle pose again, Supta Baddha Konasana, or that sleeping butterfly. Soles of your feet together like a prayer, knees open up like the pages of a book. Notice how long it takes you to inhale and how long it takes you to exhale if you just let your breath naturally flow in and naturally ebb out. Notice what it feels like when you're full, and notice how it feels when you empty out. We're going to repeat a little straw breathing, a little Viloma breathing that we did last month. And remember that if you have high blood pressure, unregulated blood pressure fluctuates quite a bit, or if you have eye issues like glaucoma, you're not going to hold your breath. You just do the first 3 inhales and then let all the air come out of your nose nice and slow, and then repeat. We'll all start together. Exhale all your air out. Inhale, purse your lips like you're going to sip on a straw, and sip in a third of the air you need to be full. Sip in another third. Sip in that final third. Hold the breath if you're able. With your lips sealed, exhale all the air out of your nose, one nice long stream. And then once you're empty, purse your lips, sip in a third of the air. Sip in a third of the air. Sip in that final third. Hold the breath if you're able. And then out of your nose, nice long stream of breath. One more time. Sip a third of the air in. Sip a third of the air in. Sip that final third in. Hold the breath if you're able. Out of your nose, exhale all the air out. And feel your body releasing, relaxing, resting. One more time. Sip a third of the air in. Sip a third of the air in. Take that final third. Make it the deepest breath you've taken all day. Hold the breath if you're able. And then out of your nose, exhale all the air out. And then just let your breath naturally flow in and naturally ebb out. Sankalpa is an intention. The word can also be defined as will or determination. It's a guiding principle, a positive, affirmative, active statement that comes from the heart. It's present tense, so it's always active. It's a reminder of how you want to move through your waking hours. And so if you have been working with the Sankalpa as we do on Saturday, you'll have an opportunity to repeat that 3 times. But here I'm going to give you a special one for tonight. Just think to yourself, I am healthy and strong, peaceful, determined, and calm. I gracefully and gratefully have what I need to achieve my goals. I am healthy and strong, peaceful, determined, and calm. I gracefully and gratefully have what I need to achieve my goals. I am healthy and strong, peaceful, determined, and calm. I gracefully and gratefully have what I need to achieve my goals. Now consider that as I move you through each part of your body, just consider each part of your body to be like a balloon that you blow up as you inhale, and then you let deflate as you exhale. So the exhale is that final release of tension, discomfort, and dis-ease. And so first, just bring your awareness to the left side of your face, left cheek, left jaw, left side of your forehead. Just breathe into that space. And then next time you inhale, start to expand that side of your face. Just visualize that side of your face like a balloon that expands out as you inhale and then deflates, relaxes, releases, rest as you exhale. Bring your awareness and your breath to the right side of your face. Just take a moment to just notice how it feels. Maybe that awareness already lets you start to soften a little bit. And then very deliberately, very intentionally, start to expand the right side of your face. And then as you exhale, let it deflate, relax, release, rest. In the same way, bring your awareness to your whole neck and throat, both sides, the front and the back, inside and outside. Expands as you inhale, and then deflates, all the air coming out as you exhale. Bring your awareness to your right shoulder, arm, and hand, and start the inflation, the awareness of the breath at the shoulder, but then take it out all the way through. So consider if you're a balloon and the air goes through the joints and then extends the fingertips out to the side. And then as you exhale, it relaxes, releases, rest. Take your awareness across the collarbones. And in the same way on the left side, start blowing up the left shoulder, upper arm, elbow, forearm, wrist, hand. Feel the fingers expanding out. And then as you exhale, let it all deflate down. Take a moment to breathe into your heart center, into your chest and upper back. You can even arch the back up, the heart up. And then exhale, let it relax. In the same way, expand your belly and your low back. And exhale, let it relax. Release, rest. When you start to breathe into the right hip and down the right leg, just stretch that right leg out if you're able. Feel the breath extending through the hip, the knee joint, the ankle joints, out through the toes. And as you exhale, let that leg relax, release, rest. Taking the awareness over to the left side, you breathe out and start expanding so that that left hip extends, left knee extends, left ankle, through the toes. Feel the toes spreading wide apart from each other. And then as you exhale, that leg starts to deflate, relaxing, releasing, resting, and breathing. Breathing into your legs, into your feet. Visualize the color red. Maybe it's light above you, maybe it's light within you, but it's red like the center of the earth. And then bring your awareness up to your hips. And now the swirling light is orange, right at your sacrum, the lowest part of your belly, just that orange swirling light. And then bring your awareness to your belly. And the swirling light is now yellow, like a child's drawing of the sun, so bright. Feel that fire in your belly. And then bring your awareness up to your heart chakra, which includes your arms, your shoulders, your fingers. And now the swirling light is green. And then bring your awareness up to your throat chakra and the lower portion of your face, including your mouth. And the swirling lights are blue. Whatever blue means something to you. Now, just for a moment, imagine all those colors swirling together, but as solid, so that they come together as indigo or violet, so darkly blue or purple that it appears black. And wrap that ribbon, that dark ribbon around your eyes and ears, the forehead, the third eye, so that your awareness is turned inward, turned in towards those swirling lights. And now they come together as light, a pale violet, so pale it appears white. Maybe as the colors swirl together, you even see little flecks of gold right at your crown chakra, right at the top of your head. And allow this combination of light to spiral around you. See it connect to a point in front of you. So if you're lying down on your back, it's just above you, above your heart center. Visualize a point out to your right and out to your left. An equal distance, a point behind you, so that if you're on your back, it's down deep into the earth. And each of those points of light is connected with a line of light. And they each connect back to the light that's coming from the crown of your head. And then visualize a point right at your base. So beneath your feet, if you're seated, right beneath your bum. And connect the light in front of you with the light beneath you, and each side and the back. So now you're being held by this light. And inside you are light. Everything's spinning around in a way that allows you to release, relax, and rest into yourself. And you can stay here and breathe here. Or perhaps you notice that that light goes up from the crown of your head, just keeps going up a little higher. And almost as if you could step into that light and walk up a set of stairs, or maybe float up through the light to a door that opens into a room with more light. And you make yourself comfortable there, knowing your answers are there, knowing in this place you are your truest self, the essence of yourself. And you can think to yourself, I am healthy and strong, peaceful, determined, and calm. I gracefully and gratefully have what I need to achieve my goals. I am healthy and strong, peaceful, determined, and calm. I gracefully and gratefully have what I need to achieve my goals. I am healthy and strong, peaceful, determined, and calm. I gracefully and gratefully have what I need to achieve my goals. Let that little essence of your highest self, the light that is the purest part of yourself, splash down into the crown of your head and feel it move into all of your limbs, through all of your chakras and wheels, into your fingers and toes. So the purest essence of yourself is grounded in your physical body. Feel free to stay here as long as you'd like. If you'd like to be guided out of your final pose, reawaken your body. Take a deep breath in through your nose. Deep open mouth sigh. Deep breath in through your nose. Deep sigh out. Gently rock your head side to side. Gently bring motion to your fingers and toes. Being mindful of the space around you, inhale your arms overhead and take a full body stretch. Reach through your fingers, reach through your toes. Walk your feet in towards your seat, extending through your low back. Prenatal option is to roll to the left. Everyone else roll to the right. Let's take a moment to be here. Take a moment to breathe here. When you're ready, use the strength of your arms to press up to a comfortable seated position. Eyes closed if that's comfortable for you. Hands together at heart center. Take a moment to rub the palms together. Create a little heat, a little energy, a little awareness. And then bring one hand to your heart, one hand to your belly. Take a moment to soak up that heat, that energy, that awareness. You can take your hands to any other part of your being, any other part of your body that needs a little extra heat or awareness, a little extra light. And then shake out your hands and we'll seal in the practice. You can bring hands back together at heart center or switch which hand is at your heart, which hand is at your belly. In letter number 4, Rilke wrote to Kappas, "Here where I am surrounded by an enormous landscape which the winds move across as they come from the seas, here I feel that there is no one anywhere who can answer for you those questions and feelings which in their depths have a life of their own. For even the most articulate people are unable to help, since what words point to is so very delicate, is almost unsayable. But even so, I think that you will not have to remain without a solution if you trust in things that are like the ones my eyes are now resting upon. If you trust in nature, in what is simple in nature, in the small things that hardly anyone sees and that can so suddenly become huge, immeasurable. If you have this love for what is humble and try very simply, as someone who serves, to win the confidence of what seems poor, then everything will become easier for you, more coherent and somehow more reconciling. Not in your conscious mind, perhaps, which stays behind astonished, but in your innermost awareness, awakeness, and knowledge. You are so young, so much before all beginning. And I would like to beg you, dear sir, as well as I can, to have patience with everything unresolved in your heart and to try to love the questions themselves as if they were locked rooms or books written in a very foreign language. Don't search for the answers which could not be given to you now, because you would not be able to live them. And the point is to live everything. Live the questions now. Perhaps then someday far in the future, you will gradually, without even noticing it, live your way into the answer. Take a moment to bring your awareness to what happens only in your sleep. As you inhale, lift your thumbs to your third eye, and as you exhale, bow forward. Namaste. Thank you all very much. If you have any questions or comments or concerns, please let me know.
And that's the practice. This is my 7th offering for the 12th annual Kiss My Asana yogathon that benefits Mind Body Solutions. But subscribe and there'll be more. Please also like and please leave me a 7-word comment with kindness. and I'll see you next time.